everyone, it's Brandy and welcome back to my channel. Now before I get into today's video, I did want to talk about something, and you guys might have already noticed it by the time this video is going up because this is going to be going up on Friday, but I am filming this on Wednesday. So yeah, I figured I would just bring it up just in case anyone has noticed and is wondering why things have changed. So in my video that I posted on Tuesday, I mentioned that I was planning on doing 2 videos a day to catch up on my end of the year and end of the month videos that I missed out on last week. I decided that instead of trying to do 2 videos a day for the rest of this week, I'm actually just going to do 1 video a day for the rest of this week and then give myself the weekend to do my filming, prep work and filming, and then next week you will have a video from me every day of the week, so every weekday I should say. So by the time this is going up, this will be the last video you get from me this week, and then next week you will have a video from me from Monday to Friday, and then that will be able to catch me up on all my end of the year and end of the month videos. So hopefully you guys don't mind that. Anyway, as you could tell from the title of this video, today I am going to be doing my December book haul. I didn't think I got that many books, but I ended up, of course, with more than I initially planned. I did pick up a few at the beginning of the month, or like throughout the month, which is considerably less than what I normally would pick up in a month, so that's really good. I did get a couple Christmas gifts, and then I did get some books from book subscription boxes, and then I told myself I wasn't, but I found some books that I really wanted, so I ended up shopping on the book outlet Boxing Day sale. So that was the box that you saw in the thumbnail. So yeah, let's just get into it. Before I get to the actual books that I got throughout December, I do have one bookish item that I actually got as a gift for Christmas that I wanted to show off, and that is a Haggard Funko Pop. So the first book that I picked up was Bird Box by Josh Malerman, and I have been seeing quite a few people talk about this. From my understanding, this book follows this woman and I believe her 2 kids, and they are living in this world where there is something out in the world where if anyone looks at it, then someone kills everyone around them and then they kill themselves. So it's something that's driving people crazy if they look at it. And in this book, we're following this woman and her 2 kids, and she has gone and her and her family are living in this one place, but they are running out of resources, and there's time for them to have to move. And you follow her journey as she's trying to move herself and her kids to a place with more resources without seeing whatever this thing is, so she doesn't kill her family and herself. So I have heard a lot of good things about this one, and I can't wait to read it. It's actually a lot shorter than I thought it was, so I might be picking this up soon, or I might save it for Halloween. I don't really know because I never know what my moods will be, but I'm excited to pick this one up, whenever I get to it. The next book that I picked up was Roomies by Christina Lauren. This book follows this girl named Holland, and she kind of goes out of her way to go see this guy who plays in the subway, and she really enjoys his music, and I'm not really sure if there's anything more to that. But her uncle is a Broadway director, and something falls through with one of his productions where he needs a musician. So she gets this guy an audition, and he ends up doing really well, and he gets this spot that needs to be filled. But then she finds out he's in the country illegally because his student visa has expired. So in order to help her uncle and this guy, because they both really need this situation that they have gotten worked out, she decides to marry him so he could stay in the country. And I'm not really sure, where this is supposed to go from there. So moving on to the next section of this book haul, this is the manga section, and I feel like I have had a manga section for the last few of my book hauls at least, but the first 2 that I have to talk about are from the same series. So that is from the Neck and Neck series. So I have Neck and Neck Volume 7 and Neck and Neck Volume 8, and these are the last 2 volumes that are part of the series. The next manga that I picked up was Maid Sama, the 2-in-1 edition Volume 2, which contains Volumes 3 and 4 by Hiro Fujiwara. So if you guys have not heard me talk about this already, this book or this manga series follows a girl named Masaki, and she is the student council president of her school. And she actually goes to a school that used to be an all-boys school, but now it is co-ed, and she has made it her mission to try to make it a cleaner and more friendly school to make more girls enroll in the school. But she also has some things going on in her personal life, and in order to help out with her household, she has a part-time job. But her part-time job is working at a maid cafe. But in the first volume, the main guy character in this manga series ends up finding out that she works at this maid cafe, and the story kind of takes off from there. The last two mangas that I picked up are also both in the same series, and that is the high school debut series. So I picked up high school debut, the 3-in-1 editions. I picked up volume 1 and volume 2 of the 3-in-1 edition. So altogether I have volumes 1 through 6, and this series is by Kazune Kawahara. I always feel terrible saying these names. So this series follows this girl named Haruna, and she has just entered into high school, and in middle school all she was really worried about was softball and reading comics. But now that she's in high school, she wants to have her first boyfriend, and she has basically done a lot of personal research with magazines and all of these stuff, and she tries to use those things to appeal to boys, but she is just not having any luck. So she decides that she's going to get her a love coach, and she ends up running into this guy who goes to her school, which I believe he is like a year or two older than her, and somehow she convinces him to be her love coach, and yeah, the story just kind of takes off from there. The next section of books are the books that I got in my book subscription boxes. So the first one that I have is Foolish Hearts by Emma Mills, and I received this in the December Outcrate box, and this is an Outcrate exclusive cover. And not only is like the outside cover different, like the colors are different, I will put a picture of the original cover so you guys can see the difference. But also, like, the hardcover is different. I believe the original hardcover, the embroidered color is pink, but this one is blue to kind of match the color scheme of the cover. This book follows a girl named Claudia, and she ends up overhearing the school's it couple breaking up, and then she ends up getting intertwined with one of the girls that was in this couple when she gets involved in a class production of A Midsummer Night's Dream. And the next book that I have is Everless by Sarah Holland, and this is the book that came in the December Fairy Loot box, and this is the UK cover. So this book follows a girl named Jules, and in the world she lives in, time is used as currency. So her and her father are behind on their rent, and they're low in hours. So in order to keep her father from draining himself dry, she decides to take a job at this place called the Everless, which is the grand estate of the Gerling family. So she ends up going there, and then it says, there Jules encounters danger and temptation in the guise of the Gerling heir Rowan, who is soon to be married. And there's a little bit more to that, but this sounds really interesting. And the last couple books that I have to show off before I get into my book outlet order are the books that I got for Christmas. The first of those is The Wizards of Once by Cressida Cow, and this is actually a middle grade novel. I'm actually going to read the synopsis because it's not that long, and I think that'll probably be the best way for me to explain it because I really don't know too much about this book. It says, once there was magic, and the magic lived in the dark forest until the warriors came. Zar, a wizard boy who has no magic and will do anything to get it, Wish, a warrior girl, but she owns something forbidden, something magical, and she will do anything to conceal it. When stars collide, Zar and Wish must forget their differences if they are ever going to make it to the hidden dungeons at Warrior Fort, where something that has been sleeping for hundreds of years is stirring. And I don't know if you guys can see that. Hopefully you can. But there is a little artwork, showing off the characters. And then the last book that I got for Christmas was Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets the illustrated edition. Moving on to the last section of this book haul, here is my box from Book Outlet. I feel like this might be the biggest box that I ever got from them before, but you guys will see why the box is so big. I didn't order too much from them, I think, with their sales that were going on, because with their Boxing Day sale they have it where if you spend so much money you get so much off, and I went up to the second tier, I think. So it's like if you spent $50 then you would get 20 off, if I'm not mistaken. So I only spent $36, which is typically the amount. I usually don't spend more than $40 on a order from Book Outlet. It's usually around between $30 and $40. So this was like typical amount, which I'm happy with, considering I told myself I wasn't going to get anything at first. But the main reason why I made this order, I just couldn't pass it up, and I'm going to save that for last. But we have lots of paper. So the first thing that I see is Red Riding Hood and the Big Sad Wolf, Volume 1 by Hatsuju Arata. I believe that's how you say the name. Sorry if it's not. But this is a manga that I saw, and I think I mentioned this before, but usually when I see mangas on there, they are like later volumes. They're usually like 2 and up depending on the series, and it's really rare for me to find a first volume of a manga on Book Outlet. So I saw this one and it looked kind of interesting, so I picked it up. The next book that I picked up is Blade Bound by Chloe Neal, and this is the 13th, I believe, Chicagoland Vampire series. If you guys notice the stack that's usually here, I know I mentioned it a bit ago, but this is my Chicagoland Vampire series that I currently own. I picked up, I believe, the first book from Book Outlet, and after I read the first book and then I read the second one on a Kindle version, I really enjoyed them, so I decided that I wanted to collect the physical copies, and I believe the majority of the ones I own I did get from Book Outlet, so I just try to get them when I can. They had the last book on there, which just came out last year in 2017, I believe, so I went ahead and picked it up. The next book that I picked up is Furthermore by Tahara Mafi. It is a middle grade novel. It follows this girl who lives in this world that's full of color, but she is colorless, and one day her father goes missing and she sets out on a journey to go find him, or find out what happened to him. I believe that's what I have heard other people saying what this one is about. I've never actually read the description. I wasn't sure if I wanted to read this, so I put it off just because I'm like, I don't want to pay full price if I don't know if I want to read it or not. And only reason, honestly, that I will say that I picked this up was because a lot of people have been talking about Witchwood, which I believe is the sequel / companion to this novel, and they were saying that you had to read this one in order to read that, or you didn't have to, but it was probably best to read this one before you read that one, just so you can get some introduction into the world. And I believe the characters from this one show up in that one, and that one sounds really interesting, so I decided to go ahead and pick this one up. So the last book that I picked up before my big purchase, which was the main reason why I made this order, is Her Every Fear by Peter Swanson, and this is an adult thriller, I believe. But this book follows a girl named Kate, and she is like in a really bad state because she was kidnapped by her ex-boyfriend. I'm not really sure the whole story behind that, but it says she has been having full-on panic attacks and stuff like that. So I believe it's a cousin of hers that lives in Boston asked her if she would like to switch houses with him in order to have a change of pace, and they agree and they switch houses. But then it's a house, or the apartment next to the one she goes to stay in, where someone is murdered or something like that. And I don't know if it happened before her cousin left or after, but it seems kind of weird that he was, he randomly came up and was like, let's switch apartments for a while. So I'm sure it deals with that, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how this one plays out. And the last thing that I picked up from Book Outlet, which was, like I said, the main reason why I placed this order, because this has been on there for a while, but every time I went to go try to get it, it was sold out before I could get to it. So it was on there, and I was like, I think I was up right before the sale started, so I was like, you know, I'm gonna just go ahead and try to get it. And that is the box set for the Lunar Chronicles series, and this is the hardcover set. So I was about to pick up the regular cover or the regular set, but then I saw they had the box set in the scratch and dent section, which was like $3 cheaper, and it might not seem like much, but $3 is quite a bit because it would have been over $40. But then I picked up this one, and it still said box set, so I figured the box might be banged up, but it's still a box set, so the book should be fine. And they all look pretty good. The box does look a little beat up, it's ripped, so I may or may not keep the box. I'm not really sure, but the books look completely fine, and I paid $31.99 for this box set. It has a pretty big rip, but I'm going to take the books out because they look completely fine. They look brand new, which they are. So here's Cinder. They are all in perfect condition. And whoops, if they're not, that's because I just messed it up. But then we have Scarlet, no rips in the dust jacket. There's no dents in it. And we have Crest. And like I said, perfect condition. And then we have Winter. This is getting really heavy. And then we also have Ferris, all in perfect condition for $3 less, all because the box is banged up. Those are all the books that I got in December, my gifts and everything that I purchased. I'm not going to hold these up because there's a lot of books and they're heavy. But let me know what you guys got in December. If you've read any of these books, let me know what you thought about them, and if you think I should pick up any of these up soon, definitely let me know, because I will try to make those a priority as long as they don't interfere with other things that I'm reading. But that's everything I have for you guys today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next week in another week full of videos. Bye.